Hello and welcome to day 2 of solving systems with substitution. Today we are just going to add one detail to our knowledge of solving systems with substitution. We're going to begin on the back side of our homework assignment. So the homework assignment looks like this: solving systems of equations by substitution. And on the back side of it, we are going to use that as our examples. So we're actually going to begin with number 11 and review what we learned yesterday, and then we're going to talk about number 13 to go over one new step today. So starting with number 11, let's review what we learned yesterday. Remember, when you're solving a system, you're trying to tell where, if you were to graph these two lines, where they would cross. So your final answer is going to be an ordered pair. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a spot to put my answer as an ordered pair. Okay, so when I look at number 11, I always want to zoom in on the smaller equation first. So the bottom equation is the smaller equation, y equals 3, or negative 3, sorry. That is already solved. So it already tells me if this is x and this is y, it tells us y is negative 3. And you can put that in right away in your answer. Now, to figure out what x is, we learned yesterday that we can substitute. So what we want to do is we want to take that negative 3 and we actually want to substitute it into the top equation where y is. So we're going to rewrite the equation. Negative 3x minus 5, and instead of putting y down now, I'm going to put times negative 3 equal 6. And what I want to do next is check and see, is this chart ready? Can I make a t-chart to solve this right now? Well, the answer is no, because I have to simplify. I have to multiply this part together first. So what I really have is negative 3x. And then if I do negative 5 times negative 3, I get positive 15 equals 6. And now I don't have any parentheses, I don't have any multiplication, so I can do a chart to solve this. So I want to put a line down the equal sign, a line underneath, label the left side with x and the right side with number, and I want to start putting things where they go. So negative 3x stays negative 3x. 15 becomes negative 15 on the number side. 6 comes down, keeping it positive. And then I add. Negative 3x plus nothing is still negative 3x. Negative 15 plus 6 is going to give me negative 9. And if you're unsure of that, check that in your calculator. The final thing I do is divide then by the number next to x. So if I divide by negative 3 here, I get to cross it out. And dividing by negative 3 here should give me my answer. X equals negative 9 divided by negative 3. That would give me positive 3. And here is my ordered pair. That is the final answer to my system. I wanted to know initially where they crossed. Well, they're going to cross at 3, negative 3. And so we learned that part yesterday, and that was just a review. The part that's going to be new is actually we're going to skip down to number 13 now. And I'll move mine up. And the difference is going to be, I have two equations. One is obviously smaller than the other, but it doesn't just say y equal 2. It says y equal 2x. There are two variables there. So in order for me to solve this one, again, I'm going to do a different color here, but I can start with my ordered pair, but I don't know either of them. Y is not 2. Because there is a variable here and a variable here, that means I am going to have to do something different. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the whole quantity, 2x, and I am going to substitute that in to the y here. And I'm going to rewrite it. So 3x plus 3, and instead of y now, I'm going to put a parenthesis and a 2x down from above. equal negative 18. And I'm going to take a look at this across and go, oh, that doesn't look like I can do a chart. I have these parentheses. Let me remind you that that's really distribution of the number. We used to do it when there's a binomial, 2 of them, but here we're just going to do it once. So I'm going to multiply that. So 3x plus, well, 3 times 2x is 6x equal negative 18. Now, there are 2 ways you can do it. You can either add your like terms and solve, or you can make a chart. And since we've been working with the charts lately, I'm going to go ahead and make the chart again, keeping the left side x and the right side number. So 3x comes down, 6x comes down, negative 18 comes down. Nothing really changed sides. 3x plus 6x is 9x. Negative 18 plus nothing is still negative 18. I'm going to divide, and x equal negative 2. Okay, so now I do have one of my answers. I have the x value, so I'm going to put negative 2 here. The problem is I do not have the other answer yet. If I look back above, it says y equal 2x. So I can't just fill in 2. The way I do that is I'm going to take this smaller equation now, and I'm going to use my answer here, and I'm going to substitute. So I'm just going to rewrite my smaller equation over here because I'm running out of space. Y equal 2x was my smaller equation. I know x is negative 2, so I'm going to now do another substitution. Y equal 2 times negative 2, and I'll finally get my final answer. Y equal negative 4, and we'll put it here. And that's how you do this, okay? Obviously, we like it better when we have y equals a number, and we can just substitute one time and get our answer. But that's not always the case. If we have y equal a number and then an x over here, we have to substitute twice. So you're going to substitute the first time and then substitute a second time. Okay, that is the gist of the lesson, and we are now going to practice. So we go ahead and take your headphones off, and we are going to practice on the front. You have to get numbers 1, 2, and 3 correct on your own before you can work in partners today.